Welcome to the last part of this 3-part series. This is the final episode of Season 1 of Outrospection, Episode 17, entitled Purple Rain.
If you're coming back from the previous episodes and you've listened to the previous episodes, you're probably kind of pissed at us.
Yeah, probably a little bit pissed. I feel like
Let's, oh, by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Hayden Binniger.
My name is Harvey Weinstein.
Whoa, that took a turn.
You gotta throw a little punch in the last minute.
This is Outrospection.
Just kidding. This is Hayden Binniger.
This is Rashad Davis.
And welcome to Outrospection, where we spect on the outros and talk about things.
Yes, so in case you listened to the previous episode, you've probably heard the Cheerio joke, and you're probably thinking, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that joke was not funny at all. The funnier joke were the puns you made on the way to the climax.
It was it was a good journey. Mm-hmm. You know, there's plenty.
It's like Game of Thrones. It started off and the mid part was pretty damn good, but in the last half we fucked it up. We just gave up. Also, something to point out: Rashad and I do not watch Game of Thrones.
No, not at all. we were totally all there for the memes.
But yeah, definitely.
Anyway, if you didn't like the joke, not surprised.
Yeah,
that's cool.
The first person we told the joke to didn't like it either.
No, they were actually very upset.
Yeah,
which is the desired outcome.
True.
Anyway, so this is the last episode.
The final episode of Season 1.
If you're listening to this is my last day in town.
I leave town in about a week.
And so I figured that this is a good time to kind of just really reflect. And not really reflect necessarily, but you know, the past 2 episodes were kind of super, like the first episode we were kind of talking about stuff that's happening right now. Second episode was super lighthearted. I feel like this episode we can like really get real about some stuff.
Definitely.
So how do you feel?
I feel tired of being in Illinois and just I'm ready. Like there's so many things that have been going on that have been bothering me and stressing me out. On one hand, I'm like upset. You know, I'm sad. I had to say this will be the last time I'm seeing you before you go to college. And I also got to say goodbye to 2 of my friends before they go to college. And hopefully in the next week I'll be able to spend some time with some other people. And you know, the people are always the thing that you miss the most, I think. But another part of me can't stand to be in this town. Yeah. I feel like I'm going insane because there's nothing to do, and especially everywhere I look,
everyone kind of just being weeded out by this whole college thing. It's kind of just like there's less and less to do every day.
Yeah, and everywhere I look, like it just things of my past that I never really have tried to remember, and I'm ready fucking for it. Like I'm done. I'm ready to go on.
Yeah, what you said about the people is really what hit me a whole lot. I spent this past few weeks just seeing a bunch of my friends for the last time before I leave. Had my last day of work the other day, and they're all bittersweet moments. You know, all bittersweet moments is all like, this is really happening and really going away. Mm-hmm. And it sucks. Kind of. It really sucks because it's like, and it doesn't suck. It sucks. The bitter part of the bittersweet sucks because I'm happy that I'm leaving. I'm not supposed to stay here forever, but it sucks because it's like part of me just like, you know, saying goodbye isn't the kind of thing you ever think about until you do it.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that even if you talk about it and think about it, you never really think about it until you do it.
Mm-hmm. I actually, I used to think about how I said goodbye to people all the time. And now I just kind of say fuck it, because I think if you put too much emphasis on it, you're too much focused on like the end of things and not focused on what the fun you could be having.
Yeah. So
It's definitely weird. It's something new.
yeah, it's so weird. It's a weird feeling because it's like you kind of get used to things. You spend so many different days in unfinished basements, sitting, killing random people on Red Dead and watching movies. So, watching Black Mirror, fucking recording the podcast,
Driving around, listening to music. That's honestly how going to Wendy's.
Yeah, you spend all this time doing this stuff, and I'm not really big on the idea of forever, but when you're in the moment, you don't really think it's gonna end.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying this is the end of anything really, but you don't really think of it as like you don't really like when you're in the moment and you're feeling the moment. You don't really think about it as if you don't really think about it as temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I don't think you should either.
Yeah, but when you get to the point where it feels kind of like it is, it's like
and you're looking back on it all.
It's a lot,
mm-hmm.
and it's
a weird mix of emotions.
It's cool, but it sucks because it's like here we are. So what happens next is really what the real question is.
And honestly, I think that's a great question because what happens next is the rest of our lives, right?
Mm.
You and me especially. Do you know like a couple people maybe that are going to Howard, right?
From where?
That you know already.
Oh yeah, I know a couple of people.
I know like basically no one.
Mm-hmm.
We are getting tabula rasa, clean slate on all of that stuff. We can entirely invent our new selves and entirely begin on being adult, living out the rest of our lives. It's a whole new world.
Yeah, and I feel like that's kind of what was sweet about the whole feeling when I decided to scrap the album.
Mm-hmm.
Was that it's like now that I'm doing it, now that I've scrapped it, now that I'm moving forward, I literally have a clean slate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to get a new computer with a new sound library, new sounds, and I'm gonna make new songs about the new people and new experiences that I have. I don't know. The thing that's weird is I'm not a don't look back kind of person. I am a sentimental person, and it's weird. It's just weird looking back. It's just a lot. Because it's like this is it. This is like a moment in time right now where a lot of things are coming to a head. I didn't know how I was gonna feel in this moment, and I'm not trying to hog the whole episode. Just saying stuff, but it was a good period of time where I was trying to leave here.
I know.
And now I'm actually doing it. It's weird.
Yeah, it's really weird thinking. If you think about the word introspection, that's what I keep thinking about, like how my world is around me right now. Thinking about the people that I've spent time with here. And it's really, people often think of me as someone, like, I really am to an extent, I am a person who's, always one foot out the door, going forward, trailblazing, not trying to look back at the past. And some people interpret that as like I have a negative interpretation of the past, but part of it is, while I do, have a lot of things I do want to leave behind, there are a lot of things I don't, which is weird for me to admit, but, I don't want to leave behind hanging out with Rashad. I don't want to leave behind hanging out with any of my friends, or just being able to sit in my house on a Wednesday morning in the summer playing video games, or outside sunbathing, or even if you go as far back as to when I was a little kid, going outside and playing with my friends. But that I already had left behind. But
yeah, that was as I'm packing up my stuff, and I'm not done packing. Mm-hmm. But as I'm packing up all my stuff to take with me to school, and it's like, what stuff am I going to leave and just take when I come back? What stuff am I not taking with me to school? What stuff am I leaving? And then I'm just thinking about my room where I recorded fucking
everything, almost
everything, all my songs. Like that's like my whole base. Like that's like my fucking studio basically. I'm thinking about desks that I sat at, the bed that I like lie down in, my shower, fucking my basement, just the kitchen, the freedom, just open the fridge, there's food there. Like all these things, it's like really weird knowing that I'm not about to say that these are like final goodbyes. Like I'm never gonna do this stuff again because I'll be back. But like the fact that these things that are regular are about to no longer be regular for me.
I don't really like, and this may be me getting caught up in like not wanting to like look back and stuff, but at the same time, like a lot of it isn't the end. Like we do plan to continue on being friends and being in contact with each other, and definitely keeping on, some things, the podcast, hopefully.
Oh, and the casino robbery.
And the casino robbery.
From this point forward, we will not bring up the casino robbery again. That will be happening on the same day as the Area 51 invasion.
Area 51 invasion, yeah.
Yeah.
But like at the same, things don't have to be the end, I think. I think it's an end to a lifestyle. It's an end to an era, maybe, but it's also the beginning of a new one. Like, I'm not about to... I don't feel the need to kind of get down... Like, part of me wants to get down and, take the moment in. But at the same time, like, I also want to pay attention to things that are going to continue. Like, I have friends that are about a year older than me that I hung out with last night. So they've been in college for a year, and they came back and hang out with me. So I believe, based on that evidence, I could go back and hang out with them. And because of this beautiful thing, we have technology, the fact that Rashad and I are here talking to you through magical tubes and through radio waves in the air, communication is as easy as ever. 2 18-year-old kids can talk to you guys and communicate with you guys out there just through technology. Space has become almost a concept of the past. Time still exists, and we've been talking about time and places and time and energy and time, but space is one of the things that we have kind of changed. And so that's why, like, I feel like all the friends I've lost, I've already lost.
Yeah.
The ones that I'm really still close with right now are the ones I can continue being close with. And I don't know when I'm going to be back, because where I'm going in Ohio, I have family.
Yeah.
And I might, and same with Rashad, we might not be back for winter break. And we might not be back for, summer. And I'm in an international affairs program. I, might not be back for an entire summer because I'll be abroad. I don't know where I'll be. And I don't know really what I want to do with my life anymore. So I don't know where I'll end up. But, I'm okay with accepting and trying, I'm okay with moving forward and trying to keep some things constant. I want to keep my relationships in my life constant. In chemistry, K is constant, right? That's the letter. That's the letter they use for that, for a constant. And I want to keep the good things in my life mostly constant, while also adding to new good things, because it's a clean slate. But it's not entirely a clean slate. It's like, it's a new page. I don't think it's a clean slate. The only clean slate we really have in life is when we're born. But now we're just turning over a new page. We still have all the rest of the book that's been written, but now we have something blank. Whatever we want to put down, we can. But it also has to build off the things that came before. So I'm not too down about it. This is advice for me to you, because I give everyone advice, no matter how they ask for it. That's how all my friendships go. If you want to stay friends with your friends from high school, and you want to stay friends with people that you've had your entire life with, put the effort in. And really, honestly, how much effort you put in is honestly how much effort you're going to get back. And if they don't put effort back, then that sucks. But you put in effort, the ones that do. And if you want to keep things, keep things going in your life, not just have your family be the only thing that's always there for you, then do it. But you shouldn't feel compelled to keep your high school friends. Maybe you didn't have any friends in high school, then make some friends in college. Maybe you had too many friends in high school that you didn't feel a trust, so make a close-knit group of friends. I'd suggest having friends and not just being a loner, but you do you. Just put in the effort. I think 90% of the battle of doing anything in life is just doing it. Is just putting in the energy to do it. And for me, because I'm a person that's kind of like that, like I edit this podcast and do a lot of other things in my life, I can just put in the energy to things like that. I am a workaholic by nature. I love to do things like that. When I created the website for Outrospection, I did it all in a 6-hour period on a Sunday morning. No breaks. I just sat at my computer and did it. And that effort is not easy for everyone, but I genuinely think you should try and tap into something like that if you want to keep things. And it's not the end. It's just a new page.
So what is next?
So what is next? Next is college. You and I are going to be busier and freer than we've ever been in our entire lives. Because everyone tells me, you'll have more free time and that you won't know what to do with it, right? Mm-hmm. But we'll also be busier because, I'm going to have to get a job to help pay for my school. I'm also going to be running this, and I'm also going to be doing my own creative endeavors. And I have my scholars program, and I also have, straight up school. Mm-hmm. And I also want to have like a social life. That's one of the big things for college. I know that's not what you're supposed to focus on really, but for me, because of my history, I need a new social life.
I feel like social life is definitely something you're supposed to focus on.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to be like school. That might just be me, but still.
I feel like that's a trap. They make us think that we're not supposed to have a social life and that we're not supposed to make friends, but
it's not that we're not supposed to have a social life.
They make it feel like the social life isn't like as they don't really stress how important social life is to college and to the college experience. Mm-hmm. I mean, and this is speaking from someone who's never been to college.
That is true.
But
I've been to college. I was first enrolled in college when I was 16.
Weird flex, but okay.
Do you even know what I'm talking about?
You're in the community college program thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, social life is important.
It is.
It's very important.
I don't think they tell you not to have a social life. I just think, and it might just be my family, because they've always thought of grades as important. But they're always like, don't forget about your grades, which you shouldn't forget about your grades. Your freshman year grades are important because they could determine whether or not you could get into graduate school you want to go to. But at the same time, you need to be happy. And for the majority of humans, a lot of the ways through happiness is a good social life, a healthy social life.
Yeah, this is ultimately based on what everyone's telling me, college is like your first kind of step into the real world, mm-hmm. where you're in charge of everything. You're in charge of how you make friends, more so than you kind of ever have been.
Definitely.
Because you don't have people saying, because even though high school, you're definitely allowed to choose who you're going to be friends with, you don't have people telling you can't go hang out with this person, you can't go do this, and you can't go do that. You can do literally whatever you want to, because no one's accountable for you. You're accountable for yourself, mm-hmm. solely. Like you can't do anything and expect other people to be in charge of what you're gonna do. You're solely responsible for everything that you do and everything that you choose to do.
Can I go off on a tangent?
Yeah.
Do you think people should be responsible for mistakes they commit when they're 18?
Depends on the mistake. I think everyone should be responsible for everything.
Like actions that hurt people.
Like hurt people how?
Actions that hurt people. Blanket term. Physically, emotionally, something that was damaging.
When you do things when you're young, you're less likely to see things from a certain perspective. I feel like for people like you and I who kind of have a relatively, even though I'm admittedly very impulsive, mm-hmm. we have a relatively good understanding of the fact that we're not fully developed as people.
Yeah.
And that and I feel like we both to an extent try and factor that in when we think about things that we do.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of us can get emotionally charged, but to an extent understand that things in life right now are not the end all be alls. Mm-hmm. So we just kind of make our moves based on that. College, when people are 18, I don't know why I said college. When you're 18, I don't think it's too early to say that you should be responsible. I think that I feel like the reason we get so many responsibilities around the time that we're 18 is
because you can take it.
Someone decided that we can take it and we can do what we have to do. I feel like at any point we should always be responsible for what we do. I feel like more than anything right now we should always hold ourselves accountable.
That is true. And I think, and here's my just kind of thing. I hold myself responsible for what I do as an 18-year-old. And I think you should. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is something. I think if you hurt someone in this time period, when you're 18, you don't look back on it and be like, "Oh, I was a kid." You can be like, "Oh, I was an impulsive 18-year-old," but you still got to realize that you fucked up.
Yeah, ultimately, when I'm looking back at stuff that I did when I was way younger, if I go through old text messages and stuff like that, I'll be like, that shit was stupid. I wouldn't have done it like that. Ultimately, kids will be kids. Mm-hmm. It's different than boys will be boys. Kids will be kids.
Yeah.
And kids are going to fuck up. And I think that we need to fuck up.
And learn from it.
Very fucking important that we fuck up at some point in our life. Because if we don't, then we won't move forward. Fucking up is so important.
I think you need to. I think it's okay to fuck up, but you got to repent for it. You got to make it right, and you got to learn from it.
It's important to fuck up, and it's important to deal with that.
To deal with the aftermath, make it right, and learn from it.
Or don't, and have it fuck you up a little bit.
And if you don't,
if that's how it goes, and that's how it goes, you'll take something from that.
Yeah, and if you don't take anything from it, then you're doomed to fuck up again. That's the
issue, is that if you don't take anything from it, I think fucking up is important. I think that we shouldn't be fuck ups.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
There's difference between fucking up and fucking up a bunch, because like I can't speak for you, but I feel like me personally, like I'm not saying I'm going to, but I wouldn't be surprised if I fucked up a whole lot in a lot of different ways. Now I think that right now my life is going according to plan, but I think that I could fuck up a whole lot. I think we all can. I think this is very, like, now that we have so much. Have you ever played BitLife before?
We've played BitLife over the phone together.
Oh yeah. So in BitLife, when you turn 18 in the game, all the different options open up, and that's really
what it's like
what it feels like. And I felt this kind of when I first turned 18.
Oh yeah, he did a bunch of really weird things. It was funny.
Yeah, like it's just.
I'm here like, yeah, I'm 18. Let's go back to just doing whatever I was doing, and Rashad's like, well, what can I do now?
It's like now I have all these. And for a lot of people, it's like having all that at your disposal, having all these different options is just is a thing that people just tend to just indulge in and just kind of fall into, and that's not an excuse for it, but that is something that you need to learn how to adapt to. I think that everybody in their life should fuck up.
I don't try and fuck up.
Don't try to fuck up, but I feel
that's different.
But don't be discouraged at the fact that you fucked up at some point.
Just
accept the fact that you fucked up.
Accept it.
Like, you need to be able to sit in the mirror and look at yourself in the eyes and say, I fucked up.
Accept it. Do what's right. Try and make it better. At least try and make it better, and then learn from it.
That's the goal. That's the end all be all. That's what we have to do as people.
Yeah. And that's not even if you're young. If you're an adult too.
Yeah, everyone's gonna fuck up at some point. You just because you're not young doesn't mean that you can't fuck up. You can always fuck up. It's not. I don't think life is necessarily always, and sometimes it is, but it's not always measured by what we do. But a lot of times it's measured by what we do after we did what we did. Who we are as a person isn't measured by what, like, especially for young people, I'll say that who we are as people isn't measured by how we fucked up, because we're kind of all doomed to. Like, we would all be lying if we said we never done something that we kind of wish we hadn't done.
A lot of eyes are bulging out of their head and rolling right now as we say that, as you remember the time you fucked up with that cucumber and cactus. It was a weird time.
Not me specifically.
Yeah, no, not me specifically.
But you, the listener.
Yeah, the listener. We know who you are.
Yeah, we know what you did. It's not necessarily immediately measured by how you fucked up, but measured by what you did to either fix it or how you dealt with it. And sometimes you'll deal with it wrong. Sometimes you won't know what to do. Sometimes sometimes you just will have no idea what to happen next. What you're gonna do, but you gotta
keep
figuring it out. You gotta keep trying to figure it out. Like, the fact that you're trying to figure it out just is the amount with which you try to figure it out is the true judge of character. You
gotta keep on keeping on. You gotta learn from your mistakes, leave the things that you did wrong behind, and keep on trailblazing, keep on going forward.
Yeah, and so ultimately, that's my opinion.
That's the truth.
Your statement.
The future of Outrospection.
Let's talk about the future of Outrospection.
All right. What should the listeners expect, Rashad? A break.
Expect a break.
Yes, we are.
We're not like the reason that we're a big part of the reason that we did 3 short episodes right now is because it's not like we're gonna just immediately know how to just set up and jump right into the next season.
I'm definitely I've been planning text messages to send of what we should do, and
we got to figure out how we're gonna structure everything. We're gonna have to probably record some test stuff.
Yes.
Figure out how we're gonna make sure everything works together. Figure out how we're gonna do some more marketing, some more promotion, all different things.
We want to make this a thing with the community, with a lot of people who can talk about it,
and especially now that we're extending out where we're going to be and who we're going to be around. We want to take our experiences and put them out in a certain way. And so because of that, it's a lot that we have to just figure out right now.
Yeah, and we also want time to like get established in college. I don't want to keep Rashad down with like up with schedules right now too much, and he doesn't want to keep me down with editing.
Yeah, it's like it's not like we're gonna just immediately like moving in, just having immediately starting before we are like in to just have this big thing, this big project, because this is a big project. It does take a lot of time, and I do want to try and be more consistent with
Definitely,
And-
but I think we can now though.
I think but at the same time, in order to be more consistent, expect a break. Expect not to hear from us for a little bit.
Yeah, we need to figure some things out on how to run.
And we've definitely had breaks, but like expect a break for a minute. Like we'll be back. Don't worry. This isn't this.
We'll be back. This is the sound of us shaking hands right next to the microphone.
Yeah.
Your hands are kind of clammy.
Yeah, but it's okay.
How do my hands feel?
Like hands.
It's like nothing interesting.
No.
What if I told you that there was rat poison on my hands?
I'm not a rat.
Why is that what made me laugh?
Because it was funny.
It was funny, yeah. But yeah, we definitely plan to continue on. We definitely plan to keep recording, but we're going to revamp some things. We're going to do more promo, try and get it out there more. It's going to sound a bit different because we won't be recording in person anymore. We'll be recording on separate. We'll be in the same time zone, which is good. But, we'll be recording, kind of separately in a way, kind of together in a way, while still communicating. You'll hear it. You'll hear the difference. Rashad's audio and my audio will blend a lot less, which they are definitely now. But, it'll, just wait and see.
Just have faith.
Keep us in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
In your dreams.
Anything else that you wanted to talk about? Seeing as though we're kind of running towards the end.
This is an okay spot to close it based on edits and stuff.
Okay.
What's one last thing? What's one last thing you want to say? Or topic you want to talk about?
I don't really have a topic. I have some closing remarks. To the people who have listened to this, whenever you just started listening, if you just started listening, if this is the first time you're listening, which is a really shitty time.
Yeah, go back and listen to like episode 1 and work their way through. They're not that long episodes. We're a pretty short podcast.
Yeah, people who've listened, thank you.
Thank you.
Hayden, you've been my brother for the past year, and you've been my friend for the past 7.
Yeah.
So
I've always been there to support you and listen to your stuff, definitely.
Yeah, so I want to thank you for that. I love you. Like you're my brother, and I just wanted to say that. I wanted to make that clear. Anything you wanted to say?
Yeah, I love you too, man. You're like a brother to me. I'm glad we've been friends. You've really helped me out in this past year with all the things I've been going through, and you've been, one of the best friends probably one of the best friends I've ever had the best friend I've ever had in my life, really. And thank you. I always think about one of the coolest things we did in high school was like the Flamingo video, recording that like all day long.
Yeah, I remember that.
in an abandoned factory. Check out Flamingo by R. Davis. And that was just so cool. And now we've been doing a podcast together for a good while now that we started technically back in December, and recording it in our even though it's a very luxurious and complex recording studio of my father's office.
Yep.
Pulling back the curtain. It's been a hell of a ride. I'm really glad we've been able to like kind of share our time together and be friends. I feel like we've helped each other out a lot.
We really have.
In more ways. I've helped you kind of get on the path you're on in some ways, and I've tried to be there to support you, and you've helped me kind of realize what I need to do to be the best version of myself. Realize that I need to maybe not be always so stuck on my ideas, even, which is a weird thing coming from you, and realize that sometimes I just need to say fuck it and do it, which is something I thought was bad at before, but.
And conversely, you've helped me kind of realize that I need to sometimes not say fuck it.
Yes, and sometimes you need
sometimes I need to think about what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and we've both shared a lot of music with each other. You've listened to what, like 22, 21 Prince albums at this point? And I've listened to all of Kanye West albums and all but 2 of Kendrick Lamar's albums, which I will be finishing. I'll send you updates on those.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish the Prince album. So
Yes, you still have your white whale to fight.
Emancipation.
Man, great album.
Anyway, those are our closing remarks.
Yeah.
This has been Outrospection.
Season 1. Thank you for
Season
listening.
1. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming along for the ride. I love you 3000.
Love you guys. Go tell your parents you love them too.
Goodbye.
Peace.